Hi, so here's another video. I know there was some delays of videos, but it's going to be back and there are more videos to come. This is more of an informational video though. I want to talk about painting the car. You're probably familiar about how the car's paint can fade and look rusty. Just in case you don't know, this is commonly known as oxidation, and when your car is exposed to the environment, and when your car is exposed to the environment, and especially the sun, for so long, the paint slowly deteriorates. And when this happens, the paint looks like it's rusted and faded. I wanted to give you some information of how to repaint a rusty, faded looking car. I feel that the sections of the car that has experienced severe oxidation needs to be repainted. I'm only going to paint a portion of the car because when the car gets faded, most of the time it's only a portion of the car. The parts that usually get hit with oxidation are the roof and upper panels. I do feel that painting sections of the car could be tough because of blending. You want to try and blend the new paint with the rest of the paint of the car. The goal is to make it look like it's all one color, so you do have to get the paint color matched. But even with the paint color matched, there is still going to be some blending involved where you need to make the new paint match the rest of the car. I'm going to be using aerosol spray cans. It is best to use a compressor with a spray gun, but if you don't have access to one, aerosol cans might be your best option. If you live in an apartment complex or you live in a place where you don't have an electrical to plug into, where you can't plug in the compressor, or you just don't have the equipment or space for it, the aerosol cans will be the alternative to paint your car. I sand down the damaged paint prior to applying primer. I started out with a coarse sandpaper, 80 grit, then 150 grit, then ended with 240 grit. The 240 grit is the last sandpaper before applying just the primer. In regards to sanding, I wet sanded the car, so I used a spray bottle to spray water on the surface of the section I wanted to sand. After wet sanding, I wiped down the areas before applying primer. Before primering and applying the base coat, I covered or masked off the areas I don't want painted with newspapers and masking tape. After I covered the area, I did about 3 coats of primer. Then after primering, I sanded on the primer to smooth it out. I dry sanded the primer this time. When wet sanding, it can get a little messy, and since I masked off some areas, I decided to just dry sand this primer. I used 800 grit sandpaper to sand down the primer right before applying the base coat. After you apply about 3 coats of the base coat and the paint is dry, you can sand it down with a very fine sandpaper such as 3000 grit to give it that smooth look. Then when all that is done, you can apply some wax. Just a quick note, when applying the base coat, try to apply it evenly. If you don't, you'll be able to notice some color differences in the paint. Thank you for watching, and I hope that this video can help you out. There's more videos to come, and I'll see you in the next video.